Sony, time to call in an outside audit. I'm serious. The attention on this stuff is not going to go away. Taylor Swift, not so innocent after all. After I posted my last video, I was looking at some of the comments, and people were wanting to remind everyone that there was a Reddit post people have been talking about lately, a Reddit post from a long time ago, before anyone was even talking about issues publicly or speculating publicly about issues with It Ends With Us. And this poster claimed to be connected to the film and to have all of this dish or gossip on it. And so you can go back and look, as people have been, at this Reddit post. And it basically, among other things, details alleged Taylor Swift involvement in getting some poor composer on the film kicked off and being basically more intentionally involved in this situation, the Blake Lively Baldoni thing, than she would have us believe or like us to believe. So I'm just going to be honest with you. Taylor Swift is always going to be the least interesting aspect of this to me, even though I'm sure it's good for clicks to put her name in stuff. But I just look, I think she's honestly, I find her annoying as hell. And I find that oaf that she's with annoying. And I find the both of them in combination annoying, and just a general cloud of annoyance. I think that it's likely that Taylor Swift being in a relationship with Blake Lively and then also Ryan Reynolds, friendship, these two are looking more and more narcissistic and manipulative by the day. Well, when you're in relationships or friendships with people like that, you get manipulated a lot. So I understand, like Candace saying, that Taylor Swift is not an unknowing, innocent victim in all this. And I don't think that's nearly the right word either. Look, Blake Lively, clearly a catty, difficult, manipulative person. Ryan Reynolds is looking like as well. And so then you've got Taylor Swift, I'm sure, just constantly during this period when they're making this movie or developing this movie or whatever, I'm sure she's constantly hearing them talk about this difficult director, and he's sexually harassing me. He's sexually harassing my wife. He asked her about her weight. Oh my God, what can I do? What can I do? And also, I don't think that the music is right for this movie, and the editing, I don't know. Oh, honey, I've got a great editor. I've got a great composer. And who did you say is the composer on the film right now? Oh my God, I had a horrible experience with him when I was doing my last tour video. Oh, you did? Oh my God, how can we get him off this? Honey, let me help you. That's basically the kind of ridiculousness that I see going on behind the scenes with some of this maneuvering that Taylor Swift was involved in. So by all means, people want to criticize her for stuff or whatever, but I think, I would like to get focused on the real culprits here. And Lady Colin Campbell, who I know has all kinds of theories that I have no idea about related to Meghan, the royal family. I know that she was even doubting that Meghan might have been pregnant and stuff. So I'm not, as people often say about me, I'm not endorsing everything that she says, right? She had a really brilliant post today, though, or 17 hours ago, apparently. And in it, she talks about how there is documentation, and we find some of this documentation in Justin Baldoni's lawsuits that he's already put out there. There is documentation of the fact that Blake Lively engaged in an extortion/blackmail campaign against Sony to get basically control of this film and all kinds of other demands that she had. And I just added that she and Ryan Reynolds waged an extensive extortion/blackmail campaign against multiple entities, not just Sony, but against Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath and Wayfarer, and were able to gain control of this film in ways that industry insiders, long-term insiders look at and they say it's unprecedented and unbelievable. And so I guess that what I'm saying is I just don't understand, honestly, personally, why the California Civil Rights Department, the one that Blake Lively originally complained to, SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, the Directors Guild of America, Sony Pictures, why these different entities aren't running investigations, official investigations with consultants who do this kind of thing for a living. I'm talking auditing, outside auditing, just like Uber had to do when all of these supposed toxic workplace issues were uncovered at Uber. They They brought in an extensive outside auditing consultant firm. And guess who headed up the investigation? Eric Holder, the former Attorney General of the United States. And then he and others on the team wrote up this long report detailing all the issues they'd found and how everything had gone down and what Uber needed to do to reform. Sony, time to call in an outside audit. I'm serious. The attention on this stuff is not going to go away. And so let's be real. It's not all of a tabloid nature. There are really serious issues here. And the toxic workplace that Blake Lively alleged that she was subjected to, it turns out it's completely the opposite. And that Justin Baldoni, in a really unprecedented way, and others, editors, composers, costume designers. I mean, there were all kinds of people, basically all the major figures, producers, basically all the major figures on this film, working on this film, producing this film, giving their time and their blood, sweat, and tears to it, were completely pushed aside or were usurped by Blake Lively / Ryan Reynolds to some degree. So this is not going to go away. And a bunch of us are going to keep talking about it. And yeah, a bunch of people with really big names are going to keep talking about it. So it'll be interesting to see what we see when we see it. All right, everybody. Like, subscribe, follow me. I'll talk to you more on this and other things later. My links are below. Appreciate your support. Bye-bye. But yeah, that's where we're at. And so, yeah, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been getting their asses kicked in the media, and they've got a giant PR war on them now that I guess nobody on that side anticipated. I'm still just totally baffled that a PR team working for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, much less a very highly esteemed PR team, that they could let something like this happen, like what Reynolds and Lively have gotten themselves into. I mean, did no one tell Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds that if they file this complaint and they make it public with the New York Times, that people will actually look into the claims and that there might be, oh my gosh, I don't know, like evidence, like on-set footage that the director, Justin Baldoni, might have had access to that invalidates the claims that Blake Lively made in her complaint and then later her lawsuit. I mean, I don't understand. And I know some of you don't either, because I see your comments. And some of you are like, did she have amnesia? Did she not realize? Did she not remember that this is how things went down? I don't know how distorted this woman's thinking might be, but man, she is in a pickle. And someone else needs to take the wheel over there at that operation and try to convince her to stand down. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I did a whole video last night or the other night where I gave advice to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni separately about what they should be doing. And anyway, you can look to that. Look at that. I'll link to it below. But Blake Lively is just she and her team. They are just running Team Lively Reynolds into the ground, deeper and deeper and deeper. And the bad PR is just going to continue as long as this thing is not settled. And as long as there's a war going on, the media are going to cover it extensively, and social media is going to cover it extensively. It really is, in a lot of ways, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but it is really, in a lot of ways, a reincarnation of Depp versus Heard and a kind of a reactivation of all of us on social media, content creators and consumers, who were really interested in that whole saga.